Welcome to Drill Down Earnings. We have the latest quarterly results from SAP Q2 results from that software giant in Germany. I'm Cory Johnson, right here in San Francisco. I'm the Chief Market Strategist for Futurum Group. And we cover SAP. We care about this company quite a bit. It's really important, not just in Europe, but all around the world. Q2 earnings, look, Wall Street just says, was it a beat or a miss? Well, it was both. It was a beat on the top line. It was a miss on the bottom line. But what's happening inside of this business is so interesting. So actual numbers, their backlog in the cloud, that business is doing great. So they talk about the backlog up 28%, the revenue's up 25%, the total company up 10%. So turn that upside down. They're only growing at a 10% rate, but the cloud business grew at 25% and their orders grew at 28%. That's a good thing with that growth ticking up for this company that really has struggled in years past. Now, when you look a little bit deeper, the cloud business now dominates. It's 50% of revenues. Services, of course, is services, but 37% of revenues, their old business is software licenses. And when you look at the gradual diversification of this business, what you see is the software licensing business is shrinking over time. The cloud business is growing over time, services hanging in there. So while the overall business isn't growing great, cloud really is. And you see that across the world, not as much in America, only about 10% of their overall business is in America, but overseas, you see where or 18% of the business of their cloud business is in America. But in Europe and throughout the European continent, into Asia, you look at 32% of their business is cloud revenues from EMEA and from Asia Pacific, Japan. All right, when we look a little bit further, what we see is that these guys are saying, and on the conference call they talked about this, they expect to see the growth that is accelerating in cloud continue to accelerate all the way through 2027. So they see that 25% growth rate that they just recorded. They think that that's going to continue to increase in their cloud business over time. They think it's more profitable business. They love that. They talked about that in all kinds of different ways. They talked about it in terms of their backlog growth. They talked about it in terms of their cloud revenue growth. In particular, their ERP business or enterprise resource planning business doing really well, really the backbone of what they're doing. So how did the stock react? Stock was very happy, up 2% in after hours. But boy, over the last year, you've got a stock that's up 50% for the turnaround that's happening at SAP. And indeed, CEO Christian Klein talked about the drivers of that turnaround.
Our pipeline looks good. I mean, when I compare the pipeline coverage this year compared to last year, and last year we had a very strong half year too, it looks really good. But now we have to execute, and we want to see this execution now coming. And we executed really well in half year two, in half year one, and now let's do it again in half year two. But this is, of course, still up, and so we have to do it.
So exciting times in Germany, and this transformation of this business from a struggling license business to a growing cloud business continues apace. All right, let's drill down a little bit deeper. Let's get to one number that tells us a whole lot, the Drill Down Earnings Bite. All of that in a summary right after this.
The Drill Down is brought to you by Futurum Group, where analysts, researchers, advisors, content creators, and marketing experts help business leaders anticipate and understand shifts in their industries and build strategies to leverage disruptive innovation. With deep analysis, Futurum Group's extensive industry experience delivers reliable research and data, thought leadership, and actionable advice to help you with your strategy and go-to-market efforts. Futurum Group.
So the SAP Q2 earnings are out. The numbers I want you to remember, the essential summary, if you will. So revenues were strong for the company, up about 10% on a year-over-year basis. But within that, the cloud business growing, and this is the number I want you to remember, the one number that tells us a whole lot, 25%. Compare that to the 5% shrinkage of the license business. 25% cloud growth is the most important number for SAP in this quarter. All right, thanks for listening to Drill Down Earnings. I'm Cory Johnson. Check me out on X at Cory TV, on TikTok and Instagram at Drill Down Pod. And of course, robust earnings reports at 6.5 Media. Follow us, like us, subscribe, comment, tell us what you want to see. Got lots more to come.